So the first thing we look at is natural body angle. So we want to see a natural curvature through the back here. In fact, why don't you hop off a second and give us center here and do the forward flexion so we can actually see the normal curvature of the spine. It's that way. So when we do this, we don't want to stretch, just bend forward. So we're looking at the curvature we can see here. So usually through the lumbar section we don't get a lot of rotation. It's mostly thoracic and some cervical. But you can see Kristen is essentially flat and then drops off through here. This is considered mildly limited hamstrings because she's not touching the floor. And then when we come up, we can also do a quick check of scapular position. This is mildly winged. I can just about squeeze my fingers underneath that scapular blade. So the medial side of these scapulas may be pronounced and would be normal for her because that's how she presents right here. So I'll hop back on the bike. So now we've got an idea of where that spinal flexibility wants to be. What are we seeing when she's on the bike? So it's fairly flat here, but there's a lot of stretch going on here. This should be a suspension system. And it's also pulling on scapular support, but there is no scapular position here. So there's too much reach on this bike. So the first thing we want to do is dial that back. So we have a fit step here, so we can sit up. I'm going to dial it back. I'm going to try that. So we're starting to see a little bit of relaxation of the elbows here. These scapulas are moving back into the frame of the body, which is more appropriate. So we can still probably come back a little bit lower than that. So our scapulas are back in place now, so that reach is probably good. And you guys are not going to see this, but the scapulas are slightly pronounced in what I'm feeling for here. But this still doesn't look super relaxed here, so there's probably something going on with the drop of this handlebar as well. It's probably too low. So when you bring this up, so the upper body is looking more relaxed. This now looks like a space to relax here. How do you feel it? Still some pressure on the front of the saddle?
No, yeah, put me around.
Okay, so hop up the saddle. So if we think we've done a good job on the front of the bike, there's probably something we missed on the back of the bike. I purposely got the saddle nose up, just so we can see what that looks like. I'm going to alter this to a better position.
Much better.
So, I just want to make the example that it's a great saddle height and it's a great saddle, but it felt horrible because 3 of the 5 parameters that affect the saddle were in the wrong place. So putting a saddle on the back is quite of a complicated situation. Saddle selection based on issue tuberosities. Saddle height based on knee extension. I've measured Kristen's knee to a 35-degree of extension, which is a small bend in the knee here. Then we also want to move the saddle fore and aft. The fore and aft is to aid with power transfer on the bike. Riding the bike is actually very inefficient. We only produce good positive power into the pedal when the pedal's about 2 and 4 o'clock. So if that saddle's too far forward or too far back, you're not really transferring muscle energy into forward motion on the bike. So it is that fore and aft measurement is very critical to get you the power you want, so those longer rides happen a lot easier for you. But once those 3 parameters back there, we call this the X zone in bike fit, and then the Y is all upper body and comfort related. But if that is way too far out there, she's on an 80 millimeters down now, I'd put it out to 110. Then we come back to saddle issues again because that pelvis was rolled into the saddle. Okay. So you can see that we need medical knowledge of your body, flexibility, skeletal angles. If we know ins and outs, this is useful information for a bike fitter to have. But once we've completed all this work, there's still, you can stop that right now. There's starting to get annoying, really. There's still a final component because do you have the right fitting clothing? Creams you can use as well. So at this point, I'm going to have Kristen and Dottie, who are a little bit more expert on those two pieces, talk a little bit about how that can help your saddle shoes.